Alex Outram back on the Third Coast Martial Arts pregame show as we're joined by the head coach of the Hamshire Fannett Longhorns, head coach Mark Wagner. And Coach, coming into tonight, obviously things in the world a little bit different. Nice to get back to a little bit of normalcy on a Friday night.
Yes, it is. This is peace. When you get here, I think all the kids love it. I know the coaches love it, and the fans get to see their kids play again, and that's good.
But coming into this year, last year, some success, 7-4 overall, victory in the bi-district round of the playoffs. Speak a little bit to the end of last year and what you're looking to take from that moving into this year.
Yeah, this is our third year here as a coaching staff, and we felt like we turned the corner. Well, we really turned the corner last year, and we lost some key individuals, but we bring a few kids back that have experience, and I think we've got the winning culture going, and that's the main thing.
Right. So District 11 4A, talk a little bit about how you feel you match up in that district.
We think it's the most difficult district in the state. We really do. With Silsbee and West Orange, Silsbee in the state semifinals the last 2 years, and we've been a field goal away or a kick away with Silsbee. So we feel like we're playing with these guys. We're there. We certainly can compete with them. And West Orange is historically the winningest program in Texas by percentage. So it's a pretty tough district. You throw in the other guys, and it's rough every week, I guarantee you.
Offensive side of the football, who are you going to be keying in on tonight to kind of carry the load?
For us, that's going to be a good question. This is our first game, and we are young at the skill positions, and so we're going to have to find that out, to tell you the truth. We also started quarterback last year, and it's going to be quarterback by committee tonight to see who's going to take over probably. And we do have Jordan Joyner in the backfield, and he should be able to run the ball pretty good for us. Keegan Heckerman will also see the ball, and we expect big things out of him. He's a big junior. And then Garrett Piku is probably our leading receiver coming back, and he's a slashing type receiver. So those kids should put in some pretty good nights tonight on offense.
Defensive side of the ball, how's your leadership on that side?
Yeah, defense starts with Blake Briggs in the middle for us, the defensive tackle. We feel that he can play at the next level. He's that kind of kid. And then he's surrounded by Singletary as another defensive lineman, and we bring back a very seasoned secondary. We have 3-year starters in our two safeties, Evan Viator and Anakin Hall. We feel really good about that. And then both of our corners are pretty experienced with 2 years experience. So.
How familiar are you with the brand of ball that head coach Neese brings to Anahuac here in his second year?
It's different. It's definitely something that I think we played probably Jasper in the playoffs a couple years ago. Very similar offense, and defense is a little bit different, but we have our work cut out for us, I guarantee you that.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for the time before the game, and best of luck in tonight's contest.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. That's head coach Mark Wagner of the Hamshire Fannett Longhorns as we continue the Third Coast Martial Arts pregame show after this on Anahuac Sports Live. Anahuac Sports Live has a school spirit shirt giveaway courtesy of We've Got You Covered. There are 4 ways to win. First 50 new subscribers on YouTube, first 50 shares of YouTube link on Facebook, first 50 retweets of the YouTube link on Twitter, and first 50 likes on Instagram will all be entered for a chance to win one of the free t-shirts. Again, Anahuac Sports Live thanks We've Got You Covered for the school spirit shirt giveaway courtesy of We've Got You Covered. Alex Altram back on the Third Coast Martial Arts Welcome back to the Third Coast Martial Arts pregame show, joined by the head coach of the Anahuac Panthers, head coach Greg Neese. And Coach, obviously some different times that we're living in right now, but the one thing that's a constant in Texas on Friday nights in the fall, high school football. It's good to be back.
Absolutely. There was times this summer and even coming into the fall that we didn't ever know if we'd even get to this. You know, we had the COVID that started last spring. A bunch of these players that play baseball and track, and they weren't allowed to finish their season, and it was just a very strange occurrence for everybody. And it looked like we would never get to compete again. And then all of a sudden, you know, the UIL stepped up and had some, you know, regulations and things like that for us, and giving us a chance to get out there and play. So it's exciting to be back.
Second year of the program, had some good success last year. Winning record in district, went to the playoffs. What are you looking to carry over from last year and build upon here in your second year with the program?
Well, going into off season, which started in December, because we got eliminated from the playoffs in the first round in November. Our off season, we had a lot of momentum going. Our younger kids were excited. Everyone got a little taste of what the playoffs was like. It's been about 5 years at Anahuac since they've been in the playoffs, and I know our town, they were very excited. You know, we were 5-5, and at one point we had won 5 games in a row, and there was a lot of excitement going on in the area. And I came from Newton High School. The past 2 years, I'd won 30 straight games as a coach. We had great players, and we go 5-5 here, and I think our town was more excited than Newton. I mean, we went 5-5, and they treated us like the New England Patriots. So that was exciting, and we just want to build on that this year and years to come.
Offensive side of the football this year, who are you going to be keying in on, and what are you looking for out of your position players?
Well, we're starting a lot of new people in different positions. Probably one of our best overall players running the football is Landon Corbett. He started as our true freshman last year at running back, and we made the move to him play quarterback. And when you do that kind of lessens who you have at running back. So we got 2 guys. One guy didn't even play football last year. Another one was our kicker, and they're starting at running back. We also got the best receiver in the district coming back, which is a good thing for us, Ian Clark. And so we're trying to find ways to get him the ball, let Landon carry the ball also. And so I feel real good about our offensive line. I think that's ended up going to be our strength, and which is a good thing. And we probably won't be able to play as fast as I would like to, but we're still going to try to do some tempo and stuff. But our guys are still learning the offense, and some of them haven't played. And, you know, in a pressure situation, sometimes they get a little starry-eyed, and you got to slow things down and until we get it. So, but they're a fun group to coach because there's not any complaining, there's no griping. You can work the dog out of them, and they're going to stay out, keep working hard, and not say a word. So they're a joy to coach.
You talk about still learning the playbook. How much of the effect of COVID did that have into the practices and everything about limiting, you know, the time that you had with the team?
You couldn't have your normal spring football. I mean, for Class 3A, 4A, and lower, you don't ever do pads, but you can work them during athletic period. So when we went for spring break in March, and you know, we're starting baseball, and we're going to try to go to some start practicing football sometime in April, and probably get about 4 weeks during athletic period. Well, that was taken away, so we couldn't do anything. And then when they allowed us in June, the UIL allowed us to start working with our kids, what had been happening before they even allowed us, our kids started coming up here on their own. And we would watch from our windows because we couldn't go out there and coach them for COVID, and it was against the rules. But they were out there coaching themselves, and they were going up and down the field. They had a quarterback, they had the offensive line. They were out there coaching themselves, throwing routes. The young kids, even the kids coming in as freshmen, there's some 8th graders. So that was good to see, and that's a great step for our program because when they start doing that, they start coaching themselves, you're on to bigger and better things in the near future.
Flipping to the defensive side of the football, who are you going to be relying on to lead the defense, kind of be your leader on the field?
Well, we changed styles of defense, I'll say that. Coach Ventures, we are bringing the Newton Eagles 7-diamond defense, and it's a pressure defense. And we had one test run the other night in the scrimmage against Hardin Jefferson, and that night we looked better than at any point last season. and playing 11 games. There was not one point during the season where we looked better last year than what we looked at now. So the kids were excited. We're moving around. We're blitzing, and that's what we got to do. So that's exciting. I don't know if there's really one key guy. I'll say this: if you look at our defensive ends, we got 2 new starters there, and they're the Bailey brothers. You got number 11, you got number 24, and one's a senior. 24 is a senior, and the other one's a sophomore, but they're about 6'4", 6'3", and they look the part. And I'm excited to watch those guys play right there.
It's always nice to get some length off the end of the
Absolutely,
defensive
it's pretty
line.
cool having defensive ends, your bookend defensive ends, and their brothers. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
How familiar are you with the brand of football that Coach Wagner brings in with Hamshire Fannett?
Well, I mean, they run the spread offense, so coaching's a neat thing because you meet so many new friends, and we found out that one of his best friends and one of my good friends, who I played college football with, that's one of his best friends down there, Coach Wagner. So Mike Shields he's the head coach at McGregor, and I was a quarterback in southeastern Oklahoma back in the 80s. When I say that, remember growing up, I always thought when people would reference the 50s, I would go, man, they're old. Now I say the 80s, and our kids are looking at me, 80s? They weren't even. So anyway, I played with Mike Shields, and then it turns out Mike Shields and Coach Wagner are almost like best buddies. So we had some good things to talk about and some things in common. But they do a great job. They got a lot of kids out. They had a really good run last year. They had a really good quarterback. I'm glad he graduated. But they got a new one now that he's pretty good too. He's pretty salty. So got a lot of respect for the program. We know their defensive coordinator, Jeremy Hamshire. He was a defensive coordinator here in 08 and 09. And that's probably some of the best years in Anahuac. We coached against them when I was at Kirbyville. We'd play them in the second round. We beat them, but they were always the best defense we played all year until we got to the state game. So anyway, we're excited about it. We should be playing every year because Hampshire's just right down the road. They're a 4A, we're a 3A, so they're a much bigger school than us. And to have us outnumbered tonight, you can look down there, they've got twice as many guys. But we ought to play. There's a little bit of rivalry from the kids and communities and stuff, so it's exciting.
What's going to be keys to victory tonight?
Well, we got to take care of the football. I know everybody says that, but we have a brand new center, new quarterback, new running backs. The situations out there on the field we can't panic, but we got to take care of the football and make sure we get the snap first, hand the ball off, good pocket, don't let them strip it. That's what we got to do on offense. And I think defensively, even though they got a lot of talent and they're going to have some plays, but we're going to have a lot of good plays also. So I think our defense can keep us in the game as long as we don't turn the ball over. So that's what to look for tonight.
Coach, best of luck in tonight's contest, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you covering us.
Head coach Greg Neese of the Anahuac Panthers as we continue the Third Coast Martial Arts pregame show after this along the Anahuac Sports Network.